you do? Stand up, fight back! What we heard about, what the president says, the entire community has heard about it. They really feel real disgusting that he's dividing us by Somalis, Mexicans, Asians, black, white, and that's not what America is about.
Where they are far from legal help, their family.
And I'm not scared, there's nothing to be scared of. There's a constitution in this country, and we have rights, and every single one of us has rights, and we're not scared. But we have some Somali communities that are very scared, that have been here, a couple of years.
Now, as somebody who used to live in Minnesota, I could tell you right now, Somalians are there for birthright citizenship. If you guys weren't aware, the Somalians have come to claim their birthright citizenship. Now, as you guys already know, the Trump administration has initiated their ICE raids in Minnesota, but the Somalians are fighting back. Now, according to CBS News, where you can pause to read this, the Trump administration is attempting to have ICE raids in Minnesota and are checking the green card holders of Somalian residents who live there. And little does the Trump administration know that the mass majority of Somalians who live in Minnesota are U.S. citizens. And every year, sometime around this year, apparently they do their pilgrimage to the Target Center. And based off of the rhetoric of the Somalians across social media, they're stating that although the Trump administration has implemented these ICE raids, they are willing to work with him to do a two-state solution. I'm not entirely sure why Donald Trump thought that this was going to be easy pickings with Somalians in Minnesota. I'm not entirely sure why he thought that. But little does he know that being that Somalians, their birthright is Minnesota, they're going to fight to the very end for their land. Because isn't that what you're supposed to do when you're being hostily invaded? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hello guys, welcome back to my short commentary. I hope you all are doing good. My name is Ransom Joseph. Protests broke out near the airport in Minneapolis, St. Paul, as people gathered to condemn Trump's public remark against the Somalian community and the renewed immigration enforcement targeting them. While we dive straight into the video to see different clips and people's reaction concerning this particular topic, if you are coming across this video for the first time, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Follow us for more interesting stories like this to pop up your screen. Tell us what you think about this topic in the comment section. Like and share the video to help the channel out. You're welcome.
Yesterday, the administration made some very disparaging remarks about the Somali community here in Minnesota. The president stated that he does not want Somalis in our country because they contribute nothing. The administration also said that they will be ramping up ICE in Minnesota, specifically targeting Somalis that are here illegally. Just a couple of facts. Roughly 84,000 Somalis live in Minnesota. Over 56% of that community was born in America. The foreign-born Somalis, 86% of them are naturalized citizens. The Somali community in Minnesota is not an issue. It's not a problem. They contribute greatly to education, to government, to our economy, to our healthcare system. They are a huge portion of our healthcare system. Without them, it would deteriorate. The only reason this administration is attacking the Somali community is because of xenophobia and racism, because they want to rally the base. They need something to rally the base in Minnesota because of how blue our state is. So they're using the Somali community to do that because of the recent fraud that has been committed in this state. There were about 78 people who were part of the Feeding Our Future fraud that happened that cost the state hundreds of millions of dollars, roughly 300 million. The majority of those people were Somalis. A extremely small portion. Remember, 84,000 Somalis live in Minnesota, committed that fraud, and they should be prosecuted to the extent of the law. But just because there was a very, 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 very small portion of Somalis that committed crime does not mean that we punish and we put the fear into an entire community. That's not how this works. They are not dangerous. They are not going around in gangs. They are huge, huge part of our state and our community and our society. And we have to stand by them. We have to support them. And we have to tell this administration, we do not want the attacks on our Somali community. We have to.
What you see is a visual representation of we have your back, and when you come for one of us, you come for all of us. We reject the hateful rhetoric of Donald Trump, but I don't want to focus on him. I want to focus on who we are as a people in Minneapolis. We are a people of 1,000 different backgrounds. We are a people where our Somali Americans have come to Minneapolis, in many cases, decades ago. And I said Somali Americans very intentionally. They are Americans.
Yes. Right.
They are one of us. They are part of our family. They are part of the fabric that makes Minneapolis a better place. They are doctors and lawyers. They are bankers and real estate agents. They are the people that have helped our city rise in every respect. And what you got to know is that we're going to stand by them in every respect. Right. And so, indeed, the tides are turning at this very moment. The shift of mentality, a shift towards love, can happen right here in the Twin Cities, right here in Minneapolis. We can be that special beacon of hope because no matter what happens at the federal level, no matter what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, let's show everybody what America is about. And America looks like this. It's about all of us.
Mayor Frey is using one of the most annoying things about Minneapolis against ICE, and I'm here for it. If you don't know, you go to Minneapolis, one of the hardest things is to find parking. It's really annoying and expensive. So Mayor Frey is not allowing ICE to park in municipal lots or ramps, leaving them only commercial lots. Those are really expensive. I heard there's a right-wing gun store that's allowing them to park there, but I'm trying to find out what the name of it is. And not just that, Brian O'Hare, police chief of Minneapolis, said that if citizens see masked people arresting people and kidnapping them, to call 911, because you don't know if they're law enforcement or ICE. They could be just a regular guy. I mean, we had someone pretending to be the police back in June when he walked up to the door and shot Melissa Hortman and her husband, Vance Belter. That's what I'm talking about, in case you've forgotten. It's really imperative that we know who's law enforcement and who's not. Anyways, I know that the Minneapolis police and Mayor Frey have their issues, but I am so happy to see people with power actually fighting back against the federal government.
You know what the predominant religion is in Somalia? Take a guess. Islam. Over 99% of the population. You guessed it.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation.
Are you sure about that, Elon Omar? You want to retract that statement? Nope. All right, let's pull up some facts, shall we? Let's pull up some more. Right. Helping America thrive. Here's where my problem lies. Elon Omar is always talking negatively about America, the country that she resides in, and she's always speaking highly about Somalia. You know, the country that she won't go back to. It's amazing how much high esteem Somalia gets when it's coming out of her mouth, just speaking about it, when in actuality, here are the facts about Somalia. So for starters, United States listed Somalia as a level 4 risk. It's the highest level of advisory. Do not travel there. They're saying it's high crimes, high terrorism, don't forget kidnapping and piracy. Also, forgive me for my pronunciation, but Al-Shabaab conducts terrorism attacks, bombings in Mogadishu. So that's Somalia. Organized crime is very prevalent. It's a hub for human trafficking, illicit network. Oh yeah, and we can't forget in Somalia, there's weak governance. They have poor law enforcement, and also some areas are heavily restricted and governed by Sharia law. human trafficking, arms trafficking, sexual violence, piracy. Shall I go on? And it is a fact, not an opinion or a feeling. It is an objective fact. It's one of the most dangerous countries in the entire world. Obviously, not all Somalis are pirates or all these other criminals, right? But when you have a large portion of people doing something and you bring that over to another place, chances are it's going to continue. Never in the history of ever have I seen a third world country come to a first world country and the first world country get better and improve when they don't assimilate, which we see so often within their religion. And people will call me Islamophobic. That word is fake. It's made up by Muslim Brotherhood, first and foremost, and it's created to just deflect and to not take accountability for whenever they do mess up. When you break down Islam, yes, people should definitely be afraid of Islam. They should be afraid of Sharia law coming to America, to the Western nations. They should definitely be afraid of women losing their rights, the right to vote, having half a brain in their religion. Mind you, my father is Muslim, okay? I grew up in an Islamic home. I had the hijab. I went to the mosques. They separated the women from the men. The girls could not even shake men's hands. They were considered less than. I'm a lefty. I'm left-handed, right? And guess what? This is considered an unclean hand. My own father would try to force me to use this hand to eat and write with. So I don't care about white liberals, people coming, Muslims coming to me, telling me that it's Islamophobic to stand up for women, to say we don't want Sharia law in Western nations. We don't want crimes. We don't want oppression to come to our countries. If you guys love your country so much, go back to those countries. Stop bringing your values and beliefs to another country and expecting other people to conform to them. And last thing I'll address regarding President Trump, I would have used a different choice of words. However, he had a point. As any rational human being would be able to see, Somalia is definitely a dangerous country. Here's the ironic part. So we have celebrities, right? And we have Tim Walz denouncing President Trump's remarks about calling Ilhan Omar garbage and Somalia garbage, right? Did they denounce when Biden called millions of Trump supporters garbage, though?
Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Yeah, it's giving selective outrage, right? If it doesn't fit their narrative or their agenda, they're denouncing, they're upset, they're gonna say it's bad, but you know, if it's coming from Trump, evil. It's evil. But if it's coming from Biden or anyone that's on their side, it's permissible. The hypocrisy. That's all I'm saying. All right? Alrighty.
Check this out. So Somali protesters in Mogadishu, not little Mogadishu in Minnesota, but actual Mogadishu, are holding posters of Ilhan Omar after President Trump called out the Somali political machine in Minnesota. The response overseas shows how far Omar's influence reaches and how far the political class will go to defend her. Trump called out fraud, welfare abuse, and the migrant networks that have drained Minnesota for years. And now halfway around the world, protesters are demanding he stop telling the truth. How about y'all send back some of that money, huh? The story started when Trump slammed Minnesota's Somali networks as garbage during a cabinet meeting after being briefed on fraud investigations and welfare abuse tied to political allies of Ilhan Omar. He said migrants siphoned billions from taxpayers, and he pointed at Omar as the face of a system that works against American interests, because that's what she does. At the same time, ICE launched a major surge in Minneapolis. More than 100 federal agents are now targeting illegal Somali immigrants who slipped through the old system under Democrat leadership. The protest in Mogadishu makes one thing obvious. Ilhan Omar has influence in a foreign city while her own district faces fraud, welfare abuse, and rising crime. Her supporters overseas are outraged. Her allies in Minnesota are worried, and Trump's base sees confirmation that he hit a nerve. What Trump said has forced a global reaction because it challenged a political machine that was operated without accountability for years. Trump's crackdown is gaining momentum. The left is panicking, and the country is watching to see what this means for Ilhan Omar as the investigation and immigration sweep move forward. Y'all like the video right there? Follow for more. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one.
And you know why Minnesota is one of the places that actually outside of East Africa, they have the largest Somali population, is because Minnesota was was like a perfect state, frankly, because of the infrastructure, the social services. The Lutherans and Catholic Charities were actually very instrumental in ensuring that refugees came to a place where they would be successful. And Minnesota was that place. The president obviously doesn't understand that the Somali immigrants in Minnesota, the people who came through the program, they came through a legal U.S. admissions refugee program. And so when he is talking in a very racist is the only way to describe it, racist and dehumanizing way about an entire demographic of people, he is talking about teachers, healthcare workers, people's friends, families, and neighbors, members of Congress. Right. The derogatory way in which he continues to speak about Congresswoman Ilhan Omar should prompt every single member of the United States Congress, Democrat or Republican, to stand up and say, I just can't get with the racism. That's the very least they could do, regardless if you think you agree with Congresswoman Ilhan Omar or not. What he is doing is racist and is dangerous. He is putting a target on the back of these folks, and he is using the full weight of the federal government to do so.
You know, fam, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know how to feel about this, but fuck, I'm on bed rest, so we're gonna talk about it anyway.
Somali community. I'm from the Muslim community in Minnesota, and we're gathered here today to fully support and endorse President Trump.
Why is this important? It's important because now Donald Trump is going to send ICE to Minnesota to go after Somalians. Now keep in mind, 90% of the Somalians in Minnesota, I think it's about 90%, are United States citizens. They were brought here legally through a refugee program. Why? Because America fucked up their country. Okay. These people have been educated in America. They've been raised in America, educated in America, pay taxes in America. They're American citizens. But their citizenship status went to their fucking head. They thought they were safe. And the fucking Arabs, you know, the white Muslims, said Kamala must pay. And those Somalians chose their religion over their fucking race. And when they chose their religion over their race, they turned on the rest of us, black people in America. They knew that we were going to fucking suffer. They knew we were going to suffer. They were digging a fucking grave for us to make us pay for what this country is doing to Palestinians. They were digging a fucking grave for us to make us pay. Because Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, none of them were ever going to feel a bit of it. Black people in America, though, we're going to feel it all, including them. I don't know how to feel.
Officials in Minnesota are pushing back against President Trump's comments on the Somali community in the state, some 80,000 strong, when he called them, quote, garbage. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry.
He's wrong, and we want them here. Somali people have been an extraordinary benefit.
Meanwhile, in the Oval Office yesterday, President Trump once again slammed the Somali community.
Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon. I hope.
Trump says he doesn't want them in the country, and there are reports that ICE agents will target the Somali community in the Twin Cities. Minnesota Public Radio's Matt Sepik has more.
Jaylani Hussein, who leads the Minnesota chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations and was born in Somalia, came here as a child, said that the community has reported already seeing an increased presence of immigration and customs enforcement personnel in the Twin Cities. He also said he's received reports of American citizens being asked about their citizenship. Hussein says this is blatantly discriminatory.
Minnesota Public Radio's Matt Sepik reporting.
Welcome back, guys, and thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Many in the Somali community now feel unsafe. Reports say people are now carrying their IDs and passports constantly. Some businesses are now shutting down, and community members worry about arbitrary enforcement or racial profiling. When political rhetoric frames entire ethnic group or religious group as other, it deepens social divides, fosters discrimination, and undermines the trust between communities. The protests show there is a pushback, but the tension remains high. This moment may become a landmark for immigrant communities in the U.S., drawing attention from media, civil rights groups, and international observers. It tests whether communities can defend themselves and whether law protects minorities, or whether political leaders are held accountable for hateful speech they proclaim. And like I said before, I really thank you for watching the video, and if you are coming across the video for the first time, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Tell us what you think about the video in the comment section. Like and share the video to help the channel out. Please don't forget to follow us for more interesting stories and news like this to pop up your screen about what is happening in the country. You're welcome.